Winton. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending what time you're watching this. It's afternoon here at Winton, and it's a pretty wet and miserable day, but I've decided to come back today, talk to you a little bit about pets today. So I'm going to be talking about pets, but before that, I wanted to remind everybody about our school website. I'm going to show you in a minute, but there's lots of different things that go up on the website at different times each day for you to access if you're not coming into school. It's not work in the same way. I'm sure lots of you are working from home, and that can be hard work and a real challenge. Well done for those of you that are keeping going and keeping trying even when things are difficult. That's a great growth mindset, exactly what we want to see. But there's also some stuff on the website that you can just enjoy and you can use as part of your relaxation or chilling out time as well. So let's have a little look and see what's up there at the moment. So here we are on our school website. All you have to do is go to a web browser and put in wintonprimary.uk and you'll arrive at this homepage. Straight away you can see we have a 30-second daily physical challenge. Lots of people have been having a go at these, and you might have seen Mr. Sykes and I having a go at the football challenge and competing against each other to see who won last week. Today it was Miss Davis and Mrs. Whiteman having a go at a jumping challenge. You can take a look at them. It takes 30 seconds to have a go at it, but actually you can have several goes at it through the day and get better and better to see how much you can get your score to improve. And if you think you get as good as one of the staff who's doing the challenge each day, then you could ask a grown-up or somebody else in your home to take a video or a picture of you and then send it to homelearning@wintonprimary.uk, and at the end of the week we'll put up and share some of the ones that people share. So here's the post that went up last Friday that showed some of the videos of pupils having a go at last week's physical challenges. Also today, the second episode of Outdoors Indoors went up. Mr. Keeley's been doing a show talking about things that you can do outside or inside. Doesn't matter whether you've got a garden or not, you can take part in some of his outdoor learning activities. And there are other things. I put a video up last week called Saying Thanks, and then I'm putting another one up today that you can do. And these aren't work. You can join in and do these as part of your relaxation. There'll be some activities at the end that you can choose to do if you want to. But do take a look at our website, have a browse of it, and have a go watching some of those videos and perhaps having a go at the activities afterwards. It will give you a nice relaxation and break after you've done your home learning classwork. So I said today we're going to talk about pets. Have you got a pet? If so, what have you got? You can tell me now. I wonder what the strangest or weirdest pet that anyone at Winton has got. The reason that I wanted to think about pets today is it's something that's been in the news recently. During the last lockdown that started last March, lots and lots of people went out and bought a pet. I wonder why they might have done that. Perhaps because they were feeling a little lonely or isolated or on their own, because that can be the reality for some people in lockdown, is they don't get to spend as much time with other people as they normally would. So perhaps they may be tempted to buy a pet. And some of the pet charities that look after and rehome pets if they haven't got anywhere to live are a little bit worried. They found when they did a survey of thousands of people that 30% of people who bought a pet during the last lockdown had never had a pet before. And for them, that's a real risk. They worry that people who haven't had a pet before won't like having a pet, or when they return to work will realise that they can't manage having a pet in the way that they would want to, and they can't look after it. So then they give it back to a rescue home for somebody else to look after. And those charities are worried that they'll have too many animals to try and find homes for. And so in the news was the question, should anybody be allowed to buy a pet, or should there be some sort of process to check that the home is suitable for a pet to live in? So one of the most well-known charities that works with animals is the RSPCA. The RSPCA, or the full name is the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, is the oldest animal welfare charity in the UK. Welfare means looking after, so that means the animal looking after charity in the UK. It was founded in 1824, 200 years ago almost. And their aim is to protect animals and make sure that they live in a world where they're respected and treated with care and compassion. As a charity, all the work they undertake is paid for by donations from the public. The RSPCA have animal shelters that take care of pets who are no longer able to be cared for by their owners, and they also try and rehome pets. Another well-known charity are the Battersea Dogs and Cats Home. It was established in 1860, so 150 years ago almost. Battersea Dogs and Cats charity are one of just a few animal rescue centres that run a non-selective intake policy. That means they accept any animals, any breed, any age, including dogs or cats with medical or behavioural problems. They try not to turn away a dog or cat that is in need. They want to make sure that they've got people to look after them and love them and find them a new home, no matter how long it takes. They have an expert team of dog trainers and vets, which gives the animal their chance, the best possible chance of being well and happy and finding another home to be cared for. And as I said a minute ago, it's thought that there have been lots more people feeling lonelier during recent lockdowns, particularly elderly people and those who live on their own. A well-known vet and author, Dr. Muller, says the companionship a pet can offer can be a solution to loneliness. It's not only the love that pets offer, but the feeling that somebody accepts us for who we are and not how people want to see us. Some research carried out by a pet food company has found that almost 1 in 3 of new owners regret buying their pet during the first lockdown. And Battersea Dogs and Cats Home are worried that the number of dogs looking for new homes could increase over the next 5 years by as much as 27%. So I have a couple of videos for us to watch now, which shows, the first video shows a member of the RSPCA and why they're worried. And then the second video shows some of the people who support Battersea Dogs Home, which is a charity. It relies on public donations and goodwill. And so they have some famous faces who support them and help them raise money, but also often will take a dog or cat from them.
There's varying reasons, but mostly it's because a dog or cat might have been bought during lockdown, and then when people are now off furlough and going back to work, suddenly that doesn't fit into their schedule, and it's sort of not considering that when they go back to work, what are their patterns going to be. So we definitely have animals that are abandoned around Christmas time. We just fear it'll be even worse just because of the pandemic.
I remember my first behind-the-scenes visit. I remember feeling a real mixture of elation that these little creatures had all been saved and were all hopefully going to be rehomed, but also sadness at just seeing so many of them.
I've had 3 animals from Battersea. Every time I go, I'm impressed all over again by the standard of care, by the amazing facilities in the animal hospital part. I love to see the animals behind the scenes. Maybe they're poorly, maybe they're very, very young, and they're all looked after so tenderly.
I suppose it's like no other rescue home that I've been to, is that they actually try and find you the right dog that suits your lifestyle and what you're after. They assess the dogs so well. They know their personalities, they know what makes them tick and what sort of person that they would be put together well with. And you could tell that Charlie was a happy dog. He was so looked after. It's just been, one of the best decisions that we've ever made.
We fostered Cookie Dough about 10 years ago. Cookie is the most remarkable little soul. I love the fact that Battersea are always looking at improving quality of life. They are always looking at ways of improving what they can do.
I think rescue is best. You couldn't get a more delightful, grateful animal than one from Battersea.
Rescue is best because you're giving a lovely animal a second chance.
Rescue is best because it makes that bond between you and the animal that much more special, because they know you rescued them.
We are a nation of animal lovers, and if you've got a heart and if you're a decent human being, then you're always willing to give something or someone a second chance. So that's why I think rescue is best.
So I wonder how many different types of pet you can think of. If you want to give yourself a challenge, stop the video now and make a list of all the different pets that you can think of. Can you get more than 5? 10? 15? 20? Some pets are very common. You know what that one is. You can say what these animals are now as we look at them if you know. Dog was easy, wasn't it? That's a gerbil or a hamster. Do you know what that is? That's quite a rare pet. It's called a gecko. Cats, common like dogs. But some people keep other animals that we might not think of as pets, such as goats or chickens. We often think of these as farm animals because they produce something like eggs or milk, some product that can be used. But some people keep them as pets as well. Some people have unusual pets like a parrot. Goldfish is quite common. A tortoise. This was a pretty big one. They're not all as big as that. There are all sorts of different pets. The list would be much, much longer than this if we tried to list as many pets as we could think of. And when you have a pet, you have to think about what it needs. Have a look at those pictures now and see if you can make a list of all the things that you would have to do or think about if you had a pet. Have a go at that now. On my list was feeding it. All these animals would need feeding if you kept them as a pet. Some of them need exercise. Some of them not so much. But most animals will need some sort of exercise, and some will need an awful lot of exercise. Bigger dogs, for example, will need 2 or 3 walks every day, and some of them will be quite long walks. But there are other things that you have to do. You have to keep them safe and warm. So some of them will need special conditions. A goldfish obviously needs a tank to live in. That tank needs to be cleaned out and kept clean. Cat, you'd have to change its litter tray and clean up after it. Some animals, like dogs, will go to the toilet outside if you train them right. But some of these animals would need cleaning out and looking after because they wouldn't be able to go to the toilet where you wanted or when you wanted them to. And then, of course, they would all, at some point, need looking after by a vet. So you'd have to have money to pay for medical bills and fees and to make sure that they're looked after by the vet. And some of them will need special conditions or other things that they'll need bought for them. So there can be more than you think about when you first think about a pet. People say, well, why do you want to get I want a dog so that I can look after it and I can stroke it and take it for a walk, and it sounds easy. But actually, having a pet will often be a lot of work. Sometimes when we choose a pet, we have to think about the reason why we want it. If you want a pet because you want to get out and go for walks and exercise it, then you might choose something like a dog. Whereas if you don't want to do that, you might choose something that requires less exercise and something that you could look after, such as a hamster. It really depends how much space you've got and what you want to do. So sometimes you have to think about that sort of thing. Here are some people who tell us about their pets and why they chose them. Simon said he bought 2 guinea pigs for his children because he wanted the children to learn to be responsible. He wanted them to have to feed them, to clean them out, to care for them, and to use some of their pocket money to pay for their food and bedding. He wanted it to teach them about how to be gentle and caring, but also the importance of looking after something and how you have to commit to it and keep doing it. You can't just do it while it's new and then give up on it, because then the animal won't be properly cared for or looked after. Calder says that they have an aquarium full of tropical fish. The reason they have it is it looks beautiful in the lounge, and often when people come round to the house, it will be the topic of conversation. So it's something they really like, the look of the fish, and they want to have the aquarium to show off to visitors. Margaret says she lives on her own and she couldn't imagine being without her cat. The cat's called Socks, and she sits on Margaret's lap most evenings while she reads a book or watches the television, and she stops Margaret from feeling lonely. So Margaret has a pet for companionship or for somebody to look after. Then Gwen says that she has a hen, and she keeps hens in the garden because they're friendly, but also because she wants to collect eggs and to use the eggs in cooking. And finally, Uri has a dog because he loves animals and he loves exercise, and when he goes on a walk or a jog, the dog can join him. So I don't think there's an easy answer to the question in the news about whether there should be some process to check whether somebody's a suitable pet owner before they're allowed to buy one. But it does remind us that one of our British values is individual liberty. That's our freedom to make choices ourselves. But if we do make that choice to own a pet, then we must know we're having a responsibility to take care of it and look after all of its needs so that it's well cared for the whole time it's alive. It's not something we can sign up to and then give up on. So that choice has a responsibility that we must commit to. And this also links to the UN rights of a child. If as a family we choose to adopt a pet or look after it, then we must support children to understand the needs of the animal and how to look after it. And so the whole family is signing up to look after that animal properly when we decide to have a pet. It's not a decision or a quick decision that we can have and then change our mind about, because somebody has got to look after that animal for the whole time it is alive. So nice to see you all. I hope you enjoyed thinking about pets with me today. Just below, so where you clicked on this video on the website, just below, if you could scroll down, then you can see there's a couple of activities that you might want to do about pets. There's a fact file activity if you've got or ever had a pet, or there's a drawing activity with a link on YouTube if you want to have a go at that. Maybe you want to have a go at those in your spare time. It's a nice relaxing activity that you could do if you'd like to. Okay, I'll see you soon. Take care everybody, look after yourselves, stay safe, and I'll speak to you soon.